So the cells on this frame here contain... Ow. Ooh. Oh, I'll tell you what, it got me right on the tip of the nose there. It is the most painful place in the world to get stung. But I was talking about all of the queens that are in the cells on this frame here. Now, it's one of my favourite parts of beekeeping. Rearing queen bees like this. Trying to control the maternal genetics and control the paternal genetics. But I had great fun setting up different configurations of boxes to try and get this result here, which is for the bees to be fooled into thinking they need a new queen. So when I give them very small young larvae and the correct food and the correct carbohydrate and the protein and these conditions here, they convert them into these queen cells that go off into the mating boxes and then get sent out to our customers once we're happy with them. But whilst I put that frame back in there, let me tell you about the setup here. So normally I use a 10/10 configuration, which is the Michael Palmer method. It's a brilliant method and it involves a huge amount of resources. But for creating starter colonies like this, it's very, very good. If you're using them as starter finishers, it might not be the most efficient system. And then sometimes I get caught short and don't have enough brood, and then sometimes I have surplus brood. So I've tweaked the system a little bit and I use a couple of different iterations of it. This one here is the simplest form that you can get though, which is all you need to do is start off with the configuration that you've got here. So a floor, a brood box like this, and then I have another brood box like this on top. So 2 boxes exactly this size. And then you just fill them with frames of bees and brood. Now you can go and take them and harvest those bees and those brood from different colonies within the apiary. And normally when we're moving around frames of brood, we're shaking all of the bees off, but not when we're doing this setup here. So imagine it back a couple of weeks ago, we had 2 boxes like this that were completely empty. And all I did was I picked out a frame of brood that was covered with bees and obviously no queen. And then I came back and put it into this beehive here. I might have taken 3 or 4 frames from one hive and 3 or 4 from another hive. And I did that until I completely filled up this entire double brood configuration, so 22 frames in total. Now that's a huge amount of bees, and it's also a huge amount of brood. Most importantly though, you need to ensure that there is no queen there. Now this system relies on you just isolating the queen off. I don't shake it through any shaker boxes, but I guess if you wanted to have a belt and braces method, you would shake those bees through some sort of excluder to ensure that there are no virgins in there. But then once you're happy with it, the manipulation is super simple to get them to the position where they're going to be fooled into creating their own queens. All you do is this. You wait 8 days, you come back through, you take out every single emergency cell on any frame throughout that double brood configuration. You take off the top box, you go and put it somewhere else over there, and you go through and shake every single bee from the top box into this bottom box here. All of that brood that's in the top box, you go away, you reuse it, you make up some splits from elsewhere. And then what you end up in this box here is a hopelessly queenless split. So no queens, no virgins. And even though you've not put them through the shaker box, if they create emergency cells, it's a guaranteed sign that there is no queen in there. And then once you've taken down the emergency cells, they are then hopelessly queenless. But what you have also done in that process is given them an artificially high number of young nurse bees. And then what will continue to happen over the next kind of 7 to 10 days is you'll still get further progression of more younger nurse bees that are emerging from the brood that is left downstairs, the capped brood that the bees cannot turn into queen cells in this bottom box. So you've given them lots of nice young nurse bees. You've ensured that they're hopelessly queenless. The only 2 additional things that you need to do are give them carbohydrate in the form of sugar in the feeder, 1-to-1 sugar syrup, and then protein in the form of your best pollen frame that you have within the apiary. Just find a nice frame of pollen. And then that is all that you need. You put the pollen frame right next to the grafting frame. You put the feeder on. You graft into the cells here. And then as you can see, look at the amount of young nurse bees that are attracted up to those cells to feed them. I'm aware that you probably can't see the cells at the moment, so I'll get my smoker and I'll blow a few of these bees off and I'll give you a really good. So there we go, a really good take. These were the first round of grafts that I had in this apiary here, and there was only 1 cell that the bees didn't like up in this corner up here. But all of the rest of them look really nice. Generally good size. Couple that are a little bit too small that I'm not overly happy about. But these ones here, where they're all the same size at the bottom, I really like that. Brilliant dimpling. They do that to keep the cells at the correct temperature. And then only one cell up here where they started to kind of go and build a little bit of wild comb. As soon as I see that, I like to get the cells out and get them into the incubator or move them off into a finisher. Otherwise, the bees make a little bit of a mess. So it's as easy as that to set these colonies up. And what's so nice about this system here is that it works on an 11-frame national hive, works on a 10-frame Langstroth, it will work on an 8-frame Langstroth. As long as you're ensuring that you've got sufficient brood both in the top and the bottom boxes, then it doesn't matter what size the boxes are. The fact is you've got 2 of them and you're compressing all of those nurse bees down into half of the size, along with the brood that's in the bottom box. It produces queens just like this. It's a very, very repeatable, easy method. And it even gives you that little bonus at the end where you get to take away all that brood and go and use it elsewhere. Once I finish with these starters, I break them up into 3 or 4 different nukes as well. They each get a cell, they go off for mating. It's a really nice, sustainable system. It's a little bit resource heavy at the beginning, but if you've got the resources, it does make your life easier throughout the season. If you're interested in learning more about beekeeping, check out our online course, 14-Day Beekeeper, that will turn you from a beginner to a competent beekeeper in just 2 weeks.